Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the official one and only Smite Super Builds, and today we have a requested updated ZHONG KUI build. Now, first I want to go through his abilities and how they kind of matter into building ZHONG KUI for the newer players to Smite and or to ZHONG KUI. Now, ZHONG KUI overall is more of a frontliner, tankier type mage, just kind of gets in your face, slows you, stuns you. If you damage him, he just kind of heals back off of you, and has pretty good zone control with his ultimate recall of demons. Like I said, with the extra protections from his passive, and also whatever protection bonus you have from your demon bag, it doubles that when you pop your recall demons. And overall, he is also known for his damage over time effects from both his Expose Evil, his 1, and also his recall demons, his 4. So items like Gem of Isolation and Spear of Magus are really great items for ZHONG KUI because you can easily apply the passive to it and just keep refreshing the passive for it. So let's get into actually building ZHONG KUI. Now, if you're in Conquest, you definitely always want to have a starter item. No matter if you're mid lane or if you're solo lane, you definitely want to have the Vampiric Shroud. Really great sustain with the passive here, and it works really well with your self-healing combination. Now, for ZHONG KUI, you have a few starts you can go with for ZHONG KUI. And now the first start is when you start the Conquest, you pick up a starter item and a tier 1 item, and you kind of finish that tier 1 item after you finish your boots. Is the more typical way to go. Now your tier 1 item can be the Tiny Trinket. You just kind of roll with these two out of the gate, and then you go into your boots if you're choosing, and then you go back and finish this tier 1 item. But on the subject of the tier 1 item, the reason for building the Tiny Trinket, for one, lifesteal works really great with your self-heal, so you have ideally double heal. And you can build this into Bancroft's Talon, a really strong item, a lot of magical power, huge magical power spike, and also the passive works really well. The more they hurt you, the more you hurt them, and it easily works with your ultimate. Now, let's say if you're in the solo lane and you're laning against Hercules to help, or you can fighting any healer or high health regeneration god for that matter, you can go with the Divine Ruin route and just kind of shut their healing down with that passive on that. Or if you want to start your stacking item early, you can go with the Warlock Sash. You're just kind of looking to get this item online earlier, since it's 100 stacks, and that's like a 10 minutes or so commitment to building those stacks up. So you can go into this as your kind of first item here. But for now, let's just stick with the Bancroft's Talon. Start with Bancroft's Talon and go into the boots. Since Shoes of Magi now has the +10 magical penetration, these boots are so good, there's no other really reason why you should not get them. On the topic of cooldown reduction, as far as the cooldown reduction boots, his cooldowns are not too crazy. We have 10 seconds, 10, 15, 90, nothing too crazy special out there. So Shoes of Magi are fairly good. Now at this point, if you still wanted that Warlock's item, the Warlock Sash, you can go into it at this point. If you don't want the stacks and you don't want to, try to stack up 100 stacks, you can go into the Ethereal Staff, and that kind of works as your Warlock Sash, or you can go into the Gem of Isolation at this point, just so you can continuously slow your enemies with your ultimate, so you can kind of chase them down with your ultimate, or with your 1, applying the original slow that it has and extra slows with the Gem of Isolation. You can go into something like that. Let's just stick with actually, we can go to something else. If the match is looking a lot more fast-paced and you don't want to go into the HP item, you have another option here of going to the Spear of Magus at this point, since we can easily apply the passive on it with the damage over time effects that we have in our kit, and then you can just go into the Hoodie. Something like this would be like if the match is looking really fast-paced and it's not really going to go for that long 40, 30, 50-minute type match. But if it's more of an extended match, you can go into something on the topic of going with the, let's say Gem of Isolation, Spear of Magus, Hoodie. This would be something more of like a more of an extended type fight. If they have a lot of physical characters that are really hurting you, you can go to the Breastplate of Valor. This is an optional defensive item that you can go into if you really want to. And then as far as the starter item, you kind of sell that mid to late game. Whenever you feel that it doesn't really make too much of a difference and you want that extra bonus in gold, so you can sell that and then pick up something like, an item that you wanted to get earlier. I cannot type because I can't see my keyboard right now. You can go to something like this for more of a tankier type frontline ZHONG KUI. Now, as far as more casual game modes, like let's say Arena. Arena is fairly simple. You just kind of go into boots. You can go into your lifesteal item of choice right now, or if you don't, you can go into your cooldown reduction item. You definitely want to have a lifesteal item. That's definitely a must. Spear of Magus. Hoodie. The reason why you don't want to wait too long for your high priced items is because Arena doesn't really last too long. It's more of a shorter game mode. So if you're going to pick up, let's say Rod Hoodie and or Soul Reaver, you definitely want to get it earlier as like your 4th or 5th item slot, and then you can do something like this for more casual game modes. Now, as far as another topic on actives, as you can see here, I already have the Aegis Pin. I was kind of playing with this earlier. The Aegis Pin, the way this works is you're immune to damage, but you can still be CC'd down. What this pretty much does is it allows you to pop your ultimate first, and then you can pop the Aegis, so you can still run around, take no damage, and your ultimate just continuously goes off, just slowing everybody down if you have the Jump of Isolation, things like that. That's how that works. Or you can go with something like Heavenly Agility, more team supportish oriented type item. Or you can go into Enfeebling Curse or Weakening Curse, whichever one kind of suits your situation that you have in your match. If you don't have items like Jump of Isolation, you can slow them down with this and then chase them down with your ultimate, things like that. Of course, Assault, you definitely want to have Salvation, giving you and your team more HP. Or you can go into something like Shield of the Underworld. Acts sort of like the Aegis. Like, let's say if you don't pick up Aegis and you pick up a different active, you can go into Shield of the Underworld if you're fighting against multiple gods that this really benefits from. Like, let's say you're fighting 2 or more hunters. Well, this reflects 40% of all damage back to them, and then they can't lifesteal off of you. Is the big point there. So that pretty much wraps it up for the build video for ZHONG KUI. Hope you guys found it helpful for any new players out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.